Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear cadets of class 7, Assalamu alaikum. Hope you all are fine during these corona pandemic days. Currently, we are passing the most difficult time in our lifespan. Please take care of yourselves as well as your family members. Simultaneously, take part in our online class and exam. Dear boys, today we will discuss Chapter 7, Climate of Bangladesh. Lesson 4, Measures to Mitigate Effects of Climate Change. And Lesson 5, Effects of Climate Change on Socioeconomic Sector. In the last class, we discussed disasters related to climate change like cyclone and tidal waves, flood, river erosion, drought, chill or cold wave, tornado, and nor'wester. And today, after the class, you will be able to describe our roles to mitigate disasters happening due to climate change, describe the impacts of climate change to socio-economic condition of Bangladesh. And our key words which are often used in today's lecture are measures, forecast, meteorological office, embankments, dredging, subsurface water, socioeconomic, sewer system, epidemics, climate refugee, etc. First, measures to mitigate effects of climate change. One of the most discussed issues of the modern world is the effects of climate change. Each of people, society, and state has a specific roles to play in order to tackle the situation. Dear boys, you know that the whole world is concerned about the effects of climate change because it has bad effect all over the world, and all of us should be aware of this climate change, and we have to take necessary precautions, necessary measures to face this climate change problem. Number one, measures in cyclone, tornado, and nor'wester situation. First of all, abiding by the forecast and warning reports of meteorological office. In my first lecture with you, you have come to know about the word meteorology. It is related with weather. The study of weather is meteorology. This meteorological office means weather forecasting office. In our country, meteorological department, it is a government organization. They forecast different warning messages before any natural disaster. We have to abide by those rules being forecast by Meteorological Department of Bangladesh, and I have put here a picture of the website. This is the main page of the website of Meteorological Department of Bangladesh, and if you need any kind of meteorological data or meteorological information, you can log into this website. Our second point is planting trees around houses, especially in the rural area, that means in village area, the people suffer a lot because of natural disaster. So my request to you is you should aware the respective people of your local areas or your country areas about the awareness of different natural disasters, and you should tell them to plant more big trees around their houses, and these trees will save them from cyclone, tornado or nor'wester. Our third point is controlling greenhouse gas emission. Dear boys, you know greenhouse effect, it is the main reason for climate change all over the world. Emission of black hume from different industries, from vehicles and different electric appliances. This is very harmful for the environment. That's why we have to work to stop or to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases. And by this time you have come to know about the greenhouse gases such as chlorofluorocarbon, then methane, etc. Our second measures is measures in flood situation. First, constructing embankments. We should build or construct embankment to save the locality from flood situation. See, we can see an embankment, and this embankment save the people of this area from the flood of this river. Then constructing houses on higher foundation. See, I have given or shown an image where you can see that this house has been built on higher foundation. This type of houses should be built in the areas where frequent flood occurs. Dredging the rivers. If we dredge our rivers, this will ensure the proper discharge of water during flood situation, and time to time all around the year we have to dredge our rivers. This is a dredging machine, and dredging is being done in a river of Bangladesh. You can see this, and this type of activities should be carried on time to time to ensure the proper discharge of water through the rivers. Then measures in drought situation. Drought is another alarming natural disaster in our country, especially for the people of northern area of Bangladesh. And to save or to take necessary measures against drought, we should ensure sufficient forestation. We should plant more trees in the drought affected areas of our country, putting a stop to pumping out subsurface water after proper testing. We should not uplift or extract water from the subsurface, or we should not collect groundwater. Subsurface water means groundwater, the water which we extract from the earth surface, that means beneath the earth. So this should be stopped. This is one of the reasons for drought. Then digging ponds and canals to store water. We should dig our ponds and canals to store water when it rains in monsoon or in rainy season. We should store or collect this water for to use in summer season. It should be done. Then measures in river erosion situation. We should plant trees on river banks. If there is huge trees on river banks, then river erosion doesn't take place on that place, because the roots of the trees, they are attached with the soil and they do not let the soil washed away by the river water. Then maintaining river banks or embankment. Earlier I have shown you embankments which is used to protect the surrounding areas from the flood, and these embankments and river banks should be maintained and should be protected from the river erosion, and this type of banks should be built around the countries to protect the surrounding areas from flood, and we should not let these embankments or bank washed away by river erosion. Dredging rivers on a regular basis. We should dredge our rivers on regular basis. This will reduce the occurrence of river erosion in our countries. Then lesson 5, effects of climate change on socioeconomic sector. Bangladesh is considered in the risk zone of the adverse effects of climate change in agriculture, industry, health, social sectors. The socioeconomic sectors where the adverse effects are noticeable are: number 1, agriculture. Boys, you know we are an agriculture based country. Most of the people of our country, directly or indirectly, they are dependent on agriculture. We get our staple foods from agricultural sector, and also the raw materials used in our industries, those are also collected from different agricultural sectors. That's why this is very important for us. The first point is climate change is responsible for immense damage to crops. High temperature and excessive rain stands on the way to get an expected harvest. Flash floods in some places can cause damage to even the paddy that can withstand a certain level of water. Lastly, land for oush paddy and jute is lessened due to floods. What have been said here? Let us explain a little bit. Dear boys, you know, every year we are facing different types of natural disasters, and because of these natural disasters, our farmers or peasants, they suffer most. They lost their crops, and sometimes, and most of the times, the production of crops reduces. So we have to be aware of these. We should work to mitigate or to reduce the agricultural problem faced because of different natural disasters. And especially, you know that all the year round we produce different types of paddy, and ash is one of them. This ash paddy, it doesn't survive in water. That's why we need to research on our crops, especially paddy, which is our staple food in our country. And you know, we have BRI, BRRI, Bangladesh Rice Research Institute. They are researching on it, and they are trying to invent hybrid variety of new paddy seed which can survive in water also. And this type of activities should be ensured in our country. We have to increase our production by using different modern technologies, and we should ensure the proper use of these technologies, and Bangladesh government is taking different measures. We have to ensure proper use of those facilities and hope these will help the people of Bangladesh to ensure food safety in our country. Then fisheries. The natural disasters have bad impact on fisheries sector also. Climate change affects the fisheries of Bangladesh from three dimensions, that means salinity, flood, and tidal wave. Increase of salinity of water creates scarcity of freshwater fish. Habitats of fish are damaged during floods as ponds and rivers overflow. Tidal wave contributes to increase in salinity in inland water. Dear boys, see in the first picture, the red marks areas, that means the southern coastal areas of our country are mostly affected by salinity of the sea water, that means water of the Bay of Bengal. And because of this salinity, crop production reduces, and then because of flood, when the pond or river overflow, the fishes which are being cultivated there are washed away. They go out of the pond, and this is very harmful and a great financial loss for the entrepreneur. Then tidal wave contributes to increase salinity. When tidal waves occur because of cyclone, then in the coastal areas, the crops are severely damaged. That's why we need to use such crop seeds which can survive in saline water. This type of crops should be cultivated in the coastal areas, and the people of coastal areas should be aware of these, and we must build embankment in our coastal areas to protect the resources and lives of people from the tidal waves of the sea because of cyclone. Then health. Sewer system go out of order in the face of ever increasing floods. Consequently, epidemics break out. When flood occurs, especially in the city area, there we don't have enough sewerage system, sewerage facility. As a result, water stuck there, and as a result, epidemics break out, such as in recent years we are facing dengue epidemic, malaria and diarrhea, etc. Diseases spread epidemically. That's why we need to ensure proper sewerage system around our cities so that water doesn't stuck in the cities, and we should not build any infrastructure which can affect the sewerage system of the city, and people should be aware about epidemics. We should not keep our dust or waste materials here and there so that the mosquitoes growth of mosquito increases. We have to be very careful regarding this. Then industries largely depend on raw materials. Climate change affects production of agro producers in different areas of the country. Industries suffer from shortage of raw materials due to this. So what has been said here? Here it is said that if there is lack of production because of different natural disasters, we will have lack of supply of raw materials in the industries, and as a result the production of industries will be reduced. So ultimately these disasters, directly or indirectly, they influence the or affect the production of our industries also. So we should be aware of these also. Then social. Climate change noticeably affected rainfall. Higher amount of rain in short period causes flash floods and river erosion. Consequently, many people become climate refugees, and that is a threat to social discipline. Here you can see people are leaving their houses or localities because of different natural disasters. They can leave their places because of flood. When flood, they are affected by flood, or there is severe drought in their localities, or because of cyclones or tornado, they are to leave their localities, their houses, their own birth land. This is alarming because these people are rushing towards the city area, and in the city area, when they do not get any job, they are engaged in different antisocial activities. They are engaged in the different criminal activities, and as a result social insecurity is created. Social security is hampered. So if we can control or reduce the effects of climate change, then ultimately this type of problems will not take place. Because if we are not aware about this, in the long run we have to suffer. So that's all from today's lecture. With this we have come to an end of chapter 7. In next class we'll discuss another new chapter, and from this chapter you will have such creative question, and this type of creative questions often comes in exams. Please follow and practice these creative questions in your books and try to understand the basic concept of your textbook so that you can answer all types of questions in the exam hall. And this is the sample MCQ questions. You will have this type of MCQ questions in your exams. Please go through your books. Try to understand all the topics. I have tried my level best to make you understand all the topics. I have gone through line by line and tried to make you understand all the topics. And even after this, if you have any queries, any problem, you can ask me. You can put comments in the website. I will be happy to answer all your queries. Now I have some home tasks for you. There are two questions which you need to answer. You must answer these two questions and upload it in the website. I will evaluate it later on. The first question is, what can you do in case of flood, river erosion and cyclone situation in your area? Try to write in your own words. Make a chart to show the sectors facing damage due to climate change. Now about coronavirus awareness. Dear boys, we are going through a critical situation. Not only Bangladesh, but also the whole world is concerned about this coronavirus. And this is very harmful for the life, resource, economy, etc. of our country. So we have to be careful about this coronavirus. So I would like to give you some tips to reduce risk of infection of coronavirus. Dear boys, please wash hands often, use soap and water or an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Then cover your mouth and nose if you cough or sneeze with the inside of your elbow, or you must use mask when you go outside. But I request you all not to go outside. Then don't get close to anyone who has cold or flu-like symptoms. If any of your relatives, friends or family members, they are having the problem of flu or cold, please don't get into their touch. Please keep yourself away from themselves. Then go to the doctor if you have a fever, cough, or you feel that it is difficult to breathe, because these are the symptoms of coronavirus. Though you might not have coronavirus or COVID-19, but even after this, if you are having this type of symptoms, please consult a doctor. Lastly, if you go to the market or any of your family members, they go to the market, don't touch animals or anything in the area they stay. Hope you will follow my instructions. With this, I would like to conclude my lecture here. That's all for the time being from my side. If you have any query regarding today's lecture, please feel free to ask through the website. Stay fine, stay safe. See you in the next class. Till then, Allah Hafiz.